Chapter 1. Tiffany. "Sorry, I'd love to, but work has me cuffed by the wrists," Mario said in response to me practically begging him to come over. Ever since the blowout at Lion's Bar, Mario, Jared, and Anthony treated me like the plague.
"You know I'm just trying to get your apartment back,"
he groused. In the meantime, he was letting me use one of the empty apartments that hadn't been sold or leased yet. That was nice, but it didn't ease my frustrations, even though he went through a lot of trouble to make it look and feel like mine. My frustrations weren't entirely with him, although him avoiding me was part of it. My frustrations had to do with how the whole situation unfolded. As far as the apartment went, however, he tried his best. Since he was the one who decorated the apartment Chris had gifted me, he had all those purchases stored on his books. It was easy for him to just go ahead and repurchase everything. The interior was practically the same, bluish teal accents with hanging white lights in the kitchen and living room, the golden couch that doubled as a sofa bed, and even the cream-colored beige throw blanket that was my cuddle buddy on nights in front of the same flat-screen TV. The doors that led to the visitor's bathroom and my bedroom were painted in pale yellow. My double bed had soft, pastel blue sheets, and there was a blue armchair by the window. This apartment was only 2 doors away from my old apartment, so the view from my bedroom window looked out onto the same mountains. The sun wasn't as blinding and didn't hit my skin the same in the morning, but it was close enough. He spent many nights and mornings over at my apartment, so he knew where everything was kept. He replaced every piece of silverware. He tried to replace all my hair products except for the holding ones, which meant I had to change up my look again, opting for soft, loose ponytails and messy buns instead. He forgot tampons, panty shields, and Q-tips. There were no makeup options for days when my confidence wasn't soaring through the roof. My special coochie spray was mostly hidden from the guys, so he didn't know about that, and therefore couldn't replace it. Not that it was needed since it was used on my underwear in emergencies, to mask the smell of sex. They had abandoned my coochie, so there was no sex scent to mask. "Why are you avoiding me, Mario?" The words slipped out of my mouth. We were on the phone as I was getting ready for work. A quickie in the morning was my sole request. It felt like years had passed since either of them had touched my body, even though it had been no more than a week. Mario grumbled in frustration, which only fueled my own frustration. "I'm not avoiding you, Tiffany," he started. "You know what? Forget about it. I won't beg you to fuck me, to look at me, touch me, want me, or choose me. If you don't want me, fine. Someone else will," I said before hanging up the phone. Immediate regret flushed my cheeks as heat tingled my body in embarrassment. He didn't deserve that. The fact that he'd done so much for me didn't fly over my head. My heart soared with gratitude and appreciation for him and Jared, who got me new work clothes and shoes. Anthony, well, he went MIA. Still, it felt like luck had fallen upon me after what could have been a lot worse after my family deserted me. But that didn't ease the frustration building up with each passing day. Maybe it had to do with the fact that I hadn't been fucked in a week, or perhaps it had something to do with my family turning their backs on me. It could also be about money and my parents freezing my bank account while they worked on putting a stop to their weekly deposits and detaching me from their accounts. It could have to do with the repercussions of their decisions and the shame I felt having to rely entirely on the men who looked at me like spoiled milk for any and all financial necessities. At least I'd only have to rely on them until my pending paychecks came into the new bank account. Not that my paycheck was anything to write home about as a first-year associate at a startup law firm. It was far below average. That wasn't a problem before brokenness became a part of my identity. Okay, maybe being broke was a stretch. The guys had no problem helping, but somehow not having my own money made me feel imprisoned. It was also revealing to me that I didn't have my own money before and was imprisoned by my family. And that revelation was depressing. Chris gifting me the apartment, having an abundance of money in my account, having my own car, it was all a facade. None of it was ever mine if it could be taken from me as they had been. They were loans contingent on their approval of me.